Right, welcome back to part 2 of this Corvette mini restoration series. The car's not needing a full teardown or rebuild or anything like that. It just needs quite a few jobs done to it to get it roadworthy and get it through its MOT test here in the UK. If you're not familiar with what an MOT test is, if you're not watching from the UK, it's basically an annual inspection. Covers things like exhaust emissions, but also wheel and tyre conditions, brake conditions, any rust underbody, any rusty sills, anything like that. I know it's a fiberglass car, but in general they cover any damage to these areas. Suspension components, any squeaking, any noises, any play in the suspension, general engine condition, lights, any warning lights in the dashboard, that type of thing. You've got to pass all of those tests to get a certificate that deems your car roadworthy, and that applies to cars that are under 40 years old but older than 3 years. So ones that are traditionally out of the kind of 3-year manufacturer's warranty, if you like. So this one is in that category, as with most used cars here in the UK. So I've got a delivery of quite a few boxes and stuff to install. We've got the front brake discs and pads, I've got the rear brake discs and pads, and I've also got everything I need to do a full engine service, including the belts, tensioner, new tensioner pulley. We've got the air filter, the oil filter, new wiper blades in that pack as well, which are part of the MOT test, by the way. And we've got everything we need in terms of the new sump plugs and bits and pieces and sundries and all that to replace various bits. And we're doing a full service. I'm also going to be checking all the fluids in the car and make sure nothing needs flushed out and replaced. And once we've done and fitted all of this, we'll then move on to see if we can figure out what that battery drain is and see what mitigating measures we can put in if we do still have a slight drain on this car, so that it can be driven and parked and not have to worry about the thing going completely flat on you. So let's get cracking in this video. We'll start from basic engine service first, and we'll do everything that we need to do before we need to jack the car up. So let's go, enjoy this video. Alright, so let's see what we've got from Rock Auto. Get that off. What we got here from Rock Auto, we've got the Fram air filter, which is fine. We've got some valve cover gaskets and the grommets, just in case we need to replace them at the moment. If not today, I'll keep these and do them at a later date, but good job to do when I'm doing stuff anyway. This will more than likely be... what's this here? This will be the tensioner and the pulley, and we've got our oil filter from AC Delco there, and just in case I strip it, we've got a new sump plug as well. So, oh yes! What have we got? A Rock Auto magnet. It's a Dodge Magnum. Quite like that one actually, that's quite nice. Usually I get cars that I'm not really that into, but yeah, I like the Magnum. We'll keep that one. So Mike, if you're watching this, love the Magnum. Really love those cars. You're getting pride of place on my tool chest. There we are. Very nice. Like that one. And we've also got the belts. In fact, found a belt in the car's trunk actually, so I got a new one as well. Main drive belt, and I've got a smaller belt for the air conditioning. So that's that first box. Alright, so these other two big boxes are hopefully brake discs and pads. So I got some EBC ones just from a supplier here in the UK, and I reckon that'll be the rears. And this bigger one here should be the fronts. Bigger brake pads and EBC brake discs as well, so they're pretty good. So I'll get them fitted, and then lastly, well not lastly, but we've got some Mobil 1 6 litres of oil. Plus this little package here. I wanted just to get these because having a look online and stuff, and looking at other YouTubers that have done Corvettes, these are very handy to keep. These are the little set of jack pads designed for the four corners. So I've already got generic jack pads that are just like pucks, but these have got this little notch in the top here that I've not tried them out yet, but I'm assuming they'll just kind of slot into the existing holes in the bottom of each corner of the car. So this is a handy wee thing to keep in the car as well. Even if you had to change a tyre in the middle of the road somewhere, or God forbid you take it to a garage that doesn't use jack pads, you could give them these to make sure they don't ruin the sills or ruin the bottom of the car when they're jacking it up. So pretty cheap, about $15 off eBay. So good little thing. Comes with a handy wee pouch just to keep in the car. So I think that's everything for this first tranche, or this first bit of work that I'm going to be doing. And I think what we'll do is I'll start with the engine service, because if I need to move the car back and forth and I need to reverse it in here perhaps to do some brake work, I'd prefer that the engine wasn't squealing like a pig, and I know that the oil's good and I know it's not doing any further damage to it, that the filters, etc. So I think what we'll do is, first part of the video, we'll start with the air filter and the belts and the tensioner. So let's go and do that. Alright, so let's start with the air filters. We'll get the old one out, which I'm guessing hasn't been replaced for quite some time. So to get the old one out, you flip up the two tabs here, one on each side, nice and easy, like so, and you can just flip them out the way on the other side of the hood. So, there we are. And then the air filter just comes out. It even tells you, pull up. There we go. As you can see, the old one's pretty tatty. What to do is, if you're unsure if it needs replaced, just give it a little taste, give it a little lick here. And if it doesn't taste very nice, you know it's time to replace it. Of course, disclaimer, we're joking, aren't we? So, when you're putting these back in, the writing goes up the way on the actual casing, and the filter, the mesh part, goes to the bottom. So you can see the grill type part on the top there. So, dead easy job. Old, new. And just make sure they're both the same. There we go. There we are. One of the easiest jobs you can do yourself. If you've never done anything in an engine before, do this first, because there's nothing to be concerned about or risky. So this is the bit you sometimes need an extra pair of handies to slot this in. There we go. It says yeah. Job number one complete. I think this is the original filter that's been on the car. It's an AC Delco one, and usually come with a date on them that you can tell. And I can't seem to see one here, but just given the shape and the size and the smell and the taste of it, it's yeah, definitely quite old. Alright, so next we're going to replace this tensioner pulley, because this pulley here, brand new, but on the car, I'll take it off and show you the difference. This barely has any rotation at all when you try and spin it. It just moves when your finger's on it, but there's no free spin. See that? And the actual tensioner part of it can be moved using this nut. So we need to get the belt off, then this off, and I'm going to change the little air conditioning belt while we're in there. So two belts and a tensioner. Let's go. So 15mm socket or ratchet onto the tensioner pulley, which is right there, and you just pull it, push it that way, and it'll loosen it up to get the belt. Okay, so you're getting the socket onto that nut right there, and you don't need a big ratchet for this or anything. So when you push it on, it releases the tension on the belt, and you can just pop it off like so. See? Ta-da! It's as easy as that. Then we'll get the belt off. And then we're face from the A-Team. Need an 84 Corvette C3. C4, sorry, I apologise. White with a red stripe. I wonder if we could do that with this one. Make a face Corvette. Templeton pick. Just get it off all the pulleys, crank pulleys at the bottom. Go underneath the crank pulley, up and over the water pump. As I drop my light, and everything turns to disaster. Just a wee bit tight down the bottom there. Come on. This is where I could do with smaller hands. It'll come out. It's like, I've been on here for 20 years, I'm not coming out. What the hell is it caught on? Haha! Yeah, I've just caught the ABS pump on the thing there, no problem. There we are. Uno Belto. And I'm struggling a little bit there just because I'll try and show you. It got caught a little bit on the ABS pump. I was trying to pull it out that way, so all I had to do was twist it, make it skinny, and then slide it out on the skinny side. So let's have a look at this belt and see what kind of condition it's in. So first telltale sign is the writing's kind of faded, and it does need replaced. I don't know when it was last done, but there's no obvious cracking and there's no obvious splits apart from a couple here and there. But anyway, they're so cheap to replace and they're so quick to do, I want to do it anyway. So let's get the old tensioner off, new one on, and then old tensioner off, sorry, then I'll get the old AC belt off and we'll start putting them back on. Right, the tensioner's just held on with 2 bolts, and from memory I think they're both 15mm, same as the one that we used to release the tension. Put a little light here, and they're easily accessible, they're right there. You might have to get a bigger ratchet than this to break them loose in your car, but mine are okay. There we are. Once again, and just take them off, no problem. Because I'll take the bottom one off first because I'm more likely to drop it. Now you have to reuse these bolts because the new one didn't come with them, so don't lose these. Watch this, it's going right down at the bottom, isn't it? I'm going to lose it. So 2 of them is all that's holding it on, and you keep them because I didn't get any new ones, the new set, the new tensioner, sorry. Alright, so here's the new tensioner, and it basically hardly spins at all, and there's no play whatsoever when you try and move it. And the old one spins a lot more. This one's not too bad, but it's still spinning a bit more, but it does have, hear that? Bit of play when I try and move it that way, and that's what it's showing when the car was running, so junk. Right, I'll bring you in closer for the wee secondary smaller belt because it's a lot more tricky, it's just in a bit of an awkward place. So, right, see right there, maybe see them, there's 2 pulleys and the lower one is the tensioner. So, same again, try and video this as best I can. So you put a open-ended wrench I'm using on the lower pulley, come on focus, there we are, and push it again towards the driver's side and it takes the tension off the belt and you can slip the belt off using that. So I usually slip it off the top pulley, makes it easier, and then you can release the tension on the tensioner and put it back. This one doesn't appear to be squeaking, so I'm not replacing the tensioner here, but let's try and get down further. See the 2 pulleys there? So it's the bottom one with the belt going over the top, 15mm. Push it toward the driver's side, it'll pop right off. There we are, wee skinny one off. Again, this one is a little bit worse for wear than the other one, but so easy to replace. And you can do it from the top of the car, you don't need to jack it up or anything like that, just like I've shown you. Then while we're here, I'll just give it a degrease and a clean, whilst the belt's out of the way. Alright, so the way to check if your old belt is going to fix your new belt, is simply to measure them like so. And if they match in size, it's good enough for me. So just in case you make a little mistakey when you're purchasing your belts online. That's the part number for the small AC belt. So what I'll do is I'll put a routing diagram for both belts. I'll superimpose it over the video just now. Usually it's in the owner's manual. My owner's manual had dampness infecting and all the pages were stuck together, so you can get it online, but there you go, I've made life easier for you. So installation is the reverse removal. Get your little breaker bar, 15mm socket, ready to pull the tension out of the tensioner, but you can line the belt up first and the tensioner is the last bit, and the little AC belt has to go on before you put the big belt on. So let's go and do that. Well, that was a little bit of a fight, shall we say. A little bit of finesse required to get that in. So I've just put this belt in from the top. Now, you'll be able to see it there with the green writing on it, see it? So it goes round that pulley there, and it goes round the two small idler and tensioner pulleys, then it goes round the crank, right? So you can do this from the top. I know there's a lot of videos say it's easier from the bottom, but I managed it from the top just the same. And what I did was, with the lack of light that I have, I just got a 15mm wrench and I came in at it. Oh, for goodness sake, the light is gone. The light is failing me here. Need to see if we can get a better angle for you. Right. So what I did was routed it around the crank first, then left it loose around the two idler pulleys and routed it around the pulley at the back here. So it was sitting loose, which I've just lost. There we are, right, that one there with the green writing on it. Routed it around that pulley. Then, took a 15mm wrench, put it on the bottom pulley there, and got as much tension out of it as I could by pushing it towards the driver's side, and then just slid the belt on the two idler pulleys last. And that got me there. So, a bit of a footer, because there's not a lot of room to work down there. Plus, on this car, there's two lines in the way, so you can't really get a good socket onto that. So I had to use the wrench instead. You see it's right in front of the bolt there. So anyway, you can do it from the top. I've just done it and it's absolutely fine. It's just a bit of a footer. If you've not got good lighting like I haven't, you might want to get someone to come out and hold the torch for you when you're doing that. But that little belt is on. Let's put the main one on now, tensioner pulley. Right, new tensioner and pulley. Let's get it on with one bolt first. There we are, just slots in there, no problem. There we are, torque down to 1. Then a quarter turn of, yeah. And new belt going in. Yeah. Having nimble hands is definitely a good thing for this type of job. But we get there. We get there in the end. Belt on. Tension off. And there we have it. And just go and check all the pulleys. There's the work pump one there. It's roughly in line with where the kind of rusty colour is that the belt sat before. We're good with that. And then round the other side on the alternator, the light's starting to fail. And we're round the other pulleys as well, and the idler pulley is tucked away in there, see it? And you can see the belt just resting on it there. So just check all that before you crank the car over, or else you'll hear a horrific noise. Right, so that's us done. The air filter, the AC belt and the main serpentine belt and the tensioner and pulley have been replaced. So that's part one. And another good thing about this car is it came with the original cover for the glass roof when you're storing it in the trunk, which is excellent. which looks brand new. This was sitting under one of the compartments in the trunk. I don't think it's ever been on. So this is a good find. I don't know how difficult these are to come by, but I'd imagine they'll be one of those things that's lost quite frequently. Very nice. I've got all the original books for this car as well. I didn't show you that in the last video. So the toolkit with a cargo net as well, so we can put that up in here. I think it attaches onto those grommets in a similar way. Right, we'll just put that on. We've also got the 40-year anniversary manual cover and a little pouch. I don't know what came with this. It must have been the service book, I'm guessing. And the original 1984 to 2010 catalogue. Wow. So here we have the internet before the internet. Loads of accessories. Wow, look at all these trunk liners and stuff. Cool. Floor mats, wheels, weather strips, part numbers for everything. Very good. I also found a spare set of rear brake pads. So I'll be doing that in your next video as well, but that's good to have anyway. Superb. Check it out. It is 1998, before my eyes. This thing is going to look pretty much brand new when we get done with it, because I don't know about you, but every time I've bought a car or owned a used car, these type of things, or the cargo net, or bits and pieces that can come off the car, usually have come off the car and have gone forever. So this has been an excellent one, because it's been everything that's came with the car is still with it. So superb. So, and another unrelated job here, but got this little cool Hot Wheels. It's almost like the Lego version of the Tony Stark hot rod out of Iron Man. So we'll stick this up here. Ooh, I'm very quickly running out of space in here for anything. We'll just put it here for the time being. There we are. Cool. You get a Corvette one. You get a C5 or something to add to these. Quite a few going on here. Need to get a few in here though. Cool. Right, and while we're here, I'll just replace these wiper blades with these Bosch Aero Twins, because no doubt I'll go out and get caught in the rain. I'm test driving it, and we can deal with the wiper arms later in the cowl cover at a later date. But oh dear, need to get cleaning first, don't I? Of course I do. Right, that'll do just now. Just get the wipers on there, give it a quick clean up. May have to take the cowl off and give it a spray with satin black, but certainly the wiper arms could do with a spray, but cosmetic stuff can wait until later. Cool. Next video will be the oil change, and I'm also going to probably, before I hook the battery back up, try and figure out if, or give the points in the passenger door here a clean for the cable connectors, because the window's not working, and I believe from memory the locks weren't working either, so that would suggest that the grounding points in here, or some of the pins perhaps, might need cleaned, bent back into shape, or moved or something. So we'll take a look at that as well. Right, so that's going to wrap up another video on the Corvette. Next time we'll do the oil change and I'll be faffing about with some electricals, and I've still got the brakes to do as well. Do that in a separate video. Restoration of the glass roof. I'm going to give the whole thing a polish using the dual action polisher, and then we will potentially check out the exhaust, get the wiper blades on, check out all the lights, and get the thing booked in for its MOT and see if it passes. So thank you again for watching, and leave a like, hit subscribe if you haven't done so, comment below if you think I've done anything wrong here, or you want to see me do something else, or little things I should be looking out for in these cars. And I thank you again for watching. Have a great day. Goodbye.